Hey everyone, this is Rachel and welcome to another scrapbooking process video. If you hang out until after the video is through, there are always detailed shots of my current layout. Let's get going! Hey everyone, so today I am once again working with another page kit I put together from my stash of Felicity Jane. I put together 5 of these back in May and they're just enough to do 1 or 2 layouts, which is smaller than the kits I normally put together, but I just wanted to, shake it up and do something a little bit differently. So I'm going to be working with 2 photos. They're almost the exact same photo, but I wanted to show a little progression here. As you can see, this is my stepfather's dog, and he's getting a little close to the crease between the ottoman and the couch there. So I just wanted to tell this little story, and so I'm going to go ahead, get you guys put on fast forward. But before I do, I just want to say thank you guys for all of you who watch. Thank you for those of you who like and comment. It's super duper awesome. I appreciate every one of you who watches this video. So just a really big thanks heading out to you guys. All right, well, let's get going. All right, so I've got my little page kit going, and I'm just moving all my embellishments over to the side. I really love this arrow paper, and I adore the gray weathered wood paper. My concern is these photos, my stepfather's dog is a tan color, and then the background is that cream, and then the couch covering, his actual couch is gray, and then there's a covering on it that's gray as well, just because he has 3 dogs, so he has a covering on his couch. And it's very muted. And what I'm talking about isn't very muted. So I decide to go for this multicolor polka dot as my background rather than the gray wood grain, which is the other side of this, the golden mustard colored plus signs. And so what I'm trying to do is, I know I want to use the plus signs, but I want to leave a good chunk of the wood grain because I love it so much. So I decide to tear into it once again. I have been in a tearing mood lately. I have torn more pieces of paper on my pages, I will say, in the last 6 months. Sorry, I needed to pause my voiceover because all of a sudden I had to clear my throat. Okay, so as I was saying, I have torn more paper, like, as I said, in this past 6 months than I had torn, I think, ever in my scrapbooking history. All right, so as I said, I've got 2 photos. They're almost the same. You'll see in the smaller photo, he's fallen further into that crack between the ottoman and the couch. And, but because it was the exact same colors as the bigger photo, I did mat it on that arrow paper simply because it was totally getting lost that it was a second photo. So now I've got everything inked up. I inked everything up in Hickory Smoke Distress ink, and now I'm getting it all down. And what I normally do when I'm working with layers is I work from the top down. That way I can place whatever is just below it perfectly before I glue it to my final paper. Now, I'm having grounding issues right now with my paper because the background is so bright and colorful. So I'm thinking maybe I want to add this little polka dot piece, but that is just not going to work. It works out in the end. I actually think it turns out pretty cute. I will say it's one of those that it looks better in real life than it does on the video. In the video, what I used to ground it doesn't show up as much as it does in real life, and those are these wood veneer arrows. I'm going to line them up on the upper left hand side, and I'm going to add a couple more on the lower right. In the video, they don't necessarily show up really well, but they do have that dark burned edge that wood veneer has, so it definitely has more weight in real life. If you stay through all the way to the end and you see these still photos of this, you will see that, in fact, that they are more prominent in real life than they are on this video. So I'm adding some things. I add that flare down at the bottom, that wood veneer word, and that is actually from Color Cast Designs, and then the chipboard piece, the black and white heart, along with the black and white plus sign flare, and then another chipboard piece on the upper left-hand side. So I know I want my title to be Will He or Won't He, and I'm looking to use two fonts, one font for the words he and he, and then another font for the will or won't, to make sure I'm getting the right words there. So I'm using these large Felicity Jane puffy black stickers for the word he. I had originally thought to use that together font, but I didn't have enough letters for that. So I'm using the freckled fawn curvy words, and I'm making my own apostrophe. I almost said asterisk. And then I realized I had put those too far down to be able to fit the second he. I don't have another E, so I am instead going to MacGyver an extra E using the top of that number 5 because I almost never use numbers. And then I decide, well, you know what? Rather than that, I'm going to go ahead and use both F's. And then that way, both of the E's will be similarly odd. Rather than have one normal E and one MacGyvered E, I'm just going to go with the two MacGyvered E's. And that's something I do, like, if I have to cut a Q for an O, I'll actually use, if there's two Q's, I'll use both Q's, because then they'll both look that way, and I think your eye will flow more if they're both the same, rather than if one has a little, maybe a little flat part for the Q, from cutting off the Q piece. It's just something that is something I personally feel. I have no idea if there's any scientific backing to it at all. It's just an opinion. All right, I'm going ahead and I'm gluing all my things down. I am using my Art Glitter clear glue with a precision tip to glue all of my wood veneer and little pieces down all over my page. I am not super finished with this, but I am almost finished with this, so I just want to make sure I take the time to say thank you for everyone for watching my videos, and if you can flick me a thumbs up, that would be super great. I really do appreciate it. I do these, you know, with my own free time, and it's something I really enjoy, so when you guys respond, whether it be a comment or a like, it's just, you know, heartwarming, and it makes me feel better. All right, I am going ahead and doing some journaling, and I'm just talking about the fact that I was very curious to see whether or not he would manage to, he was sound asleep, and I was wondering if he would manage to fall if I got up and left for the kitchen. So I actually took a little video, and I'm going to do, hoping to do where you put it on, like on YouTube, and then you have like a QR code in order to find the little video. He did not fall. He managed to rally and scrabble up onto the ottoman last second. Speaking of last second, I am adding some Jenny B Blue mist to my layout to finish it off. Thank you guys once again so much. There are pictures coming up. Have a great day. Bye.